what I want to talk about today in this idea is how we begin to see the other in a new way. And what I mean by that is there was a great Jewish theologian and philosopher by the name of Martin Buber, and he wrote a book called I and Thou. And what he talks about is in more atavistic times, when we found ourselves deeply connected to everything, our relationship to the other, and by the other, whether it be a tree or a flower, a rock, an animal, another person, a sibling, a partner, was I and thou. That you are an expression of divinity, that you are a center of divine consciousness within the vast whole. And here's a practice for you. And really, this changes the universe. And it comes out of an ancient Hebrew practice known as tikkun olam, which is the healing of the breach, the healing of the crack in the worlds. So on a walk, on your next walk, everything that you see, a blade of grass, a tree, a cow, a horse, a dog, a cat, a mailman, a person, whatever, is to say quietly to yourself, just look, pause for a moment, and say, you are a center of divine life within the vastness of all that is. That blessing releases within our own consciousness any belief of separation, and is actually a very healing act that we do. Something that we also understand in metaphysics is this. Carl Jung says it this way. He says, that we can only take someone else as far as we've gone ourselves. But I like what Dr. Holmes says, where he says, we see the condition in our client, our friend, our partner. We see what may be creating suffering or limitation within the other, the thou. And we heal that within ourselves. And I believe what he means is this, if we're going to hold an idea of good for someone else, we have to eliminate from ourself any bias that holds them back. If I hold a bias that their condition is greater than the love and the power of the divine, you know what? It doesn't matter if I affirm things till I'm blue in the face. If I have a bias of limitation towards the other, because it's a bias that I hold within myself, and if I don't shift and change that, really nothing is going to happen. And so, our work then is to release what that may be. And so we have a certain form of prayer. And the prayer that we use is called an affirmative prayer. And we call it a spiritual mind treatment because it treats our mind. And that there are 5 steps in this. We recognize that we are immersed in a spiritual universe, that there is a loving, a living presence that is in all things, through all things, as all things. And if that contemplation becomes true with us, the natural conclusion is that we are part of this thing called life. We are part of this thing called love. We're not separated from it, that it is there. And if that love is present within us, then of course, as Jesus says, it is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. It is the divine essence, love, that desires our good. And so we recognize and we can realize that the good that we are seeking is seeking us, that it is organizing our imagination, that it is surprising us, amazing us, drawing to us, giving us insight, that we create a ripple in the universal fabric that then becomes a vortex attracting the thing that we are seeking because we're making it conscious. This, by the way, is quantum physics, right? Because our observation, our realization of this good is collapsing infinite possibilities until this good. And then we move to this experience called gratefulness, thanksgiving. Because when we are grateful, we expand. When we are grateful, we open up. When we are grateful, we are generous. And so we train ourselves to be in that state of consciousness. And we let the divine do the work.